right down, relax, open your ears real wide and say, give it to me straight, doctor, I can take it.
Kick the chocks out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
And here we go.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not small. No, no, no.
Kiss my entire ass.
Oh, my darling, not 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
I'm gonna get a cappuccino soon. I'm gonna strangle somebody.
Me too, Bruce Willis, me too. But not a cappuccino, just more coffee. It's been one of those days so far. Just not finding the motivation to get things done today. Oh, Lord, help me. Let me send this thing out into the ether. I have entirely too many windows open. Really? You send out the link to your YouTube and it doesn't put up the title, the card, any of it. Why bother? Why even bother? By the way, whoever was calling me a few minutes ago, my phone actually worked for about 30 seconds, and I heard 2 rings, but the screen didn't light up. My phone is shot, so I don't know who you were. So, don't know what to tell you. Let me see here. Send the link out to a few people here, see if anyone wants to come on and talk shop. Let me see here. All right. Where in the world did StreamYard go? There it is. All right. So, got a really big show for you today. This may be the most important podcast I've ever done. I'm kidding. I got absolutely nothing. Here's what's really going on. I'm having trouble getting going. Got up early. I've had coffee. Coffee's not the problem. I just can't. My get up and go has got up and went. And I thought to myself, here I am at the house. You know, I'm all alone. The wife's gone to her job. Normally I'm self-starting, self-motivating. I don't need anything to get me going. Not today. I got a whole lot of nope going on. So I thought, you know what? I'll jump on. I'll go live. Hang out for a little while. Let some of the cool people come and help me get my day going. We'll see what happens. Let me do a little micro shilling while we're here. See what we're up to today. Revenge, the sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell. Watch me die. Dawn, I needed Michaela to come and give me one of her inspirational wake-up talks. Hi, Michael. Yes, there's still plenty of time to back me if you want to do so. I'll greatly appreciate it. The link is pinned in the description. And good morning to you. Glad to see you. Just having a motivational morning. A motivational, not a motivational morning. Does that make sense? Did I communicate that correctly? So I was on a podcast last night with Crimson Owl, and I enjoyed it very much. Crimson Owl is a very good podcaster. He's very good, does great interviews. You know, sometimes you go on a show and people don't interview very well. You can interact with them. You can still have a good time. They did a really good interview, and I enjoyed it. So thank you, Ronnie at Crimson Owl, for having me out last night. But Dawn, I'm thinking that's my problem this morning. In order to be more alert for his 9 o'clock in the evening podcast, I drank coffee. So that kept me awake later than my normal bedtime. So I didn't get my full 8 hours sleep because I still got up at 4 o'clock this morning. Pardon me while I morph up a lung. Let's see who's messaging me. Tanner said he'll pop in here in a little while. That'll be groovy. I don't know why I have not just multiple windows open across the top. Oh, let me see, Michael. I think the lowest tier is just a digital tier, $6. So, you know, not a big bite. We try to have a spectrum of things available at all different price points. I was thinking about this, by the way, earlier. So many stories to tell, so little time in life to tell them, right? I've written through to the end of the Pariah trilogy. I'm writing, as we speak, part of the spinoff of one of the characters, and also writing a spinoff of another of the characters. And then there's yet a third character that I want to do a spinoff with out of the Pariah universe. And then at the same time, there's a part of me that just wants to do a plain old superhero book. Just a good, noble, no hang-ups, no conflicted, tortured soul, just a good, decent superhero who's out there doing what it takes. Because I think we need some plain old heroes in our world these days. You know, the world was, I remember once upon a time, the world was, it was dark and it was grim and things were just not good. And then this lovable cowboy got into the White House and he just spoke about a shining city on a hill, and he made America optimistic again. That was, of course, Ronald Reagan. And God, man, we need some of that these days, don't we? Yeah, I think you can pay with PayPal, Michael. I don't know. I'm the least tech savvy person you're ever going to meet. I don't turn my computer off because I may never be able to turn it back on again. I need to trim my stash, y'all. I can't stand it to get raggedy. So, if you don't know who Victor Davis Hanson is, look him up. He's a historian. He's a visiting fellow for Hillsdale University, and he teaches at Southern California, and he lectures in the humanities, I think. Anyway, amazing lecturer on military history. And he was talking about those individuals that society says, you know, we really don't want you among us here in polite, altruistic society. But in case of emergency, we want to break glass and have this person available. And of course, we're talking about people like Patton, talking about people like Bull Halsey. You're talking about Matthew Ridgway. You're talking about William Tecumseh Sherman. People who are able to exhibit a genius for defeating the bad guys ruthlessly. And he was sharing one of the stories. This illustrates it very well. You know, everybody knows, or most people know, George Patton got in a world of crap because he slapped a couple of soldiers who did not deserve slapping. One of them had PTSD. The other one, I think, had malaria. He thought they were malingering. He slapped them. He got reprimanded for it. It was bad PR. It was bad press. But then he had another incident where he had an entire column of tanks crossing a bridge, and they were under attack by strafing runs by the Luftwaffe. And the bridge was blocked by a farmer and a couple of his mules. And they couldn't move forward because, well, he went up with his pistols and he shot the mules and had them thrown over the bridge and got the column out of there. And people had a meltdown because he killed the mules. They weren't having a meltdown because American lives were being lost to this attack. And that kind of sums up, think about it, society. We want to be a rosy, loving, accepting, inclusive, and caring and diverse society. But then when the bad people come along, we need somebody bad or worse to take care of them, don't we? We weren't going to stop the little evil fellow in Germany by caring more than other people. We had to fight. And that kind of goes back to the deterrence, of everyday deterrence. One of the mistakes people ask frequently, if the GDP of the United States was so much stronger, the production capabilities, the natural resources, just the population, if all of that was so much greater in the United States, why in the world would Germany, who is already in a war, declare war on us? You can't possibly win. Well, there's several answers to that question, but one of them is that not stupidity, but ignorance. They didn't know how badass. They didn't know how badass the United States was. And this goes to the deterrence thing. If you think about it, let me give you an example from my own life. When I was young, a wee lad, way back in the last century, that seems so weird to say. There was this guy who used to pick on me mercilessly. I was this blonde-headed little skin and bones scarecrow, and he would pick on me. Over the summer, I hit that growth spurt. I got jacked, got big. And the next year, on day one, dude tried to mess with me again. And I had to just bite my lip. My dad was the principal of one of the schools in the school system. I could never make him look bad. I couldn't get in trouble. So the next day, I said, you know what? I'm not allowed to just beat this guy's ass. So I wore the tightest t-shirt I had. My arms were swole and sticking out of them, and big old shoulders, I came walking into school and I stayed flexed and tense and put on my "I'll kill you" face. Walking down the hall, and I saw him coming toward me, and I locked eyes with him. He stopped. No more bullying. He didn't pick on me anymore. Why? Deterrence. I showed him the guns, so to speak, and he backed down. So that leads, of course, back to the saying that weakness invites attack. Weakness invites. The bully attacks the little old man or little old woman. We all saw that horrible stuff last year with those elderly people being punched and shoved, and just horrible, horrible behavior. But you didn't see him doing it to the 6'5" big guy, that's on his alert, or the armed individual. You don't typically see that. People have said that lean a little bit toward the left. They'll say, if you're carrying a gun, that invites conflict. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. It discourages conflict big time. Unless, crazy people will do anything. Well, what in the world am I talking about here? Well, there's a saying that easy times breed soft men, and soft men invite conflict. But conflict creates hard men, and hard men stop conflict. And I'm afraid we're in that, not on the peak, we're in the valley right now as a society. And I'm afraid we're so far down in that valley of softness that we are inviting, courting, if you will, disaster. Yeah. Yeah. Here's my solution to school shootings. And I don't know why this is even controversial. You put armed, honorably discharged combat veterans at the door of every door of every school in America. There's enough of them. We need the employment. Paying them is cheaper than doing any other measure that they talk about doing. And I promise you, nobody who's not supposed to be there is getting past them, period. You think some pissed off teenager is going to come hufflumping across the campus, armed to the teeth, and get past those guys? they'll get one warning, stop where you are and get on the ground. If they don't comply, problem's over. You still keep a school resource officer there because those armed guards aren't there to arrest anybody. They're there to save lives by ending the threat. I promise you that would be the end of school shootings. I mean, metal detectors or an armed Marine standing at the door. You know, the metal detector just goes, hey, might be a problem here. That Marine is going to say, you get your butt on the ground right now. You know, drop that weapon. You're not coming in this school. You're not hurting these kids. You're not getting past those. It's not going to happen. You know, we've heard the argument from the anti-Second Amendment crowd that says, if it saves just one life, isn't it worth doing? Okay, if armed, trained veterans save one life, isn't it worth doing? Of course, people who make those kind of arguments never like to have their logic thrown back at them. They can't stand it. But, you know, you're the one that said it. Look at that, man. There's these two little parts right there. So when they want to go to the center, I can't stand that. So, Don, how are you doing this morning? Michael, how are you this morning? It takes a good 30 minutes for word to even get out that I'm live before people really start tuning in. So we've got this time just to ourselves. By the way, when I was a kid, if I started showing my ass, my dad could look at me with that look. Yes, thank God it's Friday. With that look and even reach for his belt. Oh, good for you, Dawn. Just waking up, meds taken, coffee is brewed. You're right where you're in the zone. But Dad would look at you and make a reach for that belt, and you knew you better do a self-check. Whatever it is I'm doing right now that I'm not supposed to be doing, I need to stop and modify, or badness is about to befall me. And I think we're kind of missing that in society today. You know, it's my kid is wonderful just the way he is. Well, no, I'm sorry. Some of y'all have raised horrible children. They're brats. They're spoiled. They're entitled. They're confused by the hardness of life. They never learn the lessons they need to learn growing up. And we need better parenting. We just need better parenting. Raise your kids right so we don't have to incarcerate them later in life. I was sitting in the living room. Oh, heck yeah, Michael. Sometimes the anticipation for that first cup of coffee wakes me up quicker than anything else. I was sitting there this morning, the sun not quite up yet. It's just starting to purple around the horizon, you know. And I'm having my coffee. Tacey has just walked out the door. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, it's so peaceful this morning. I can just go sit on my little corner of the couch and kind of nod pleasantly and sip my coffee and maybe nod, you know. Don't give in to that temptation, y'all, because that warmth that'll surround you, it'll just take you off to La La Land, and I can't do that. Yes. Listen, as a counselor, here are some of the things I would suggest people do that were struggling with situational depression. Understand that clinical depression is a chemical thing, and it needs medication and counseling. Situational depression, which is a normal response to if something's depressing, you should be depressed. It's normal to feel that. In both cases, though, some of the things you can do to alleviate that are get out of your familiar circumstance. go to the park, go for a drive. If you are a housebound person, go sit in the yard, go sit on your porch, go sit on the patio. Talk to someone you don't normally talk to. Get outside of what is called your comfort zone, but sometimes it's not your comfort zone. Sometimes it's a shell that you've put up around yourself. You need to get outside of that. Not for a long time, just a little bit. Go look at the horizon. Look beyond the wall. You know what I'm saying? Some of us just watch a TV or a wall or a desk or a computer screen. We don't extend our vision out there. Need to do that. It helps a lot. I've got a video on my Fine Art channel talking about inspiration, motivation, and artist fatigue. A lot of people who do art will say, well, I just didn't feel inspired. I don't buy that. I never buy that. Inspiration is just a word of saying, I feel like it or I don't feel like it. If you start working on your art, you'll be able to do your art. The inspiration will come. Hey, Charles, good morning. Good morning. If that was you that tried to call me earlier, my phone is fritzing out. I said that before you popped in. I have no idea who it was that tried to call me. It like chirped one time and the screen went black. I gotta get a new phone. I got friends who are mad at me. You never answer the phone. It's not ringing. I'm not hearing it ring. Shut up, Charles. Charles, where are you at? Job 1 or job 2 today? Crazy Comic Collector is my buddy Charles. He's been my best friend for, God knows, man, 31 years now. We've all heard about those friendships where he's at job 1. You can not see each other for a year and just pick up your conversation right where you left off last time. Well, that's kind of me and Charles. Hey, I got a friend hanging out in the back here. Let's bring him out without fanfare. The legendary Tanner Hurley.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing much.
Just a free refill. I need help
Gotcha.
getting my day going today, man. Just not feeling it, Tanner.
Really?
Tired. And I got a lot to do.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit. I could just jump back there and draw. It's not really that much. You ever feel guilty for taking it easy?
Yeah, I've had times like that.
Well, why is it I feel guilty every time I take it easy?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Every time. I go on a vacation, which, by the way, my last actually pack up and go somewhere vacation was 2012. What is that, 11 years ago?
Oh, you're overdue.
Yeah. But I was on that vacation, and the whole time I'm like, I should be working. And Dawn says all the freaking time, yeah. It's like, if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm not contributing. I'm not pulling my weight in the world.
Right.
Even when you need to be down and recharging your batteries to be more effective. So, yeah, I thought, if I'm not being productive, making art, maybe I can stream and feel productive.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know, Tanner. What are you doing today, sir? What's your day looking like?
Well, I just picked up my son from school, and he's only got one class. You know, he's in his senior year.
Oh yeah.
So he's all good to go and just has one class. So I pick him up from school after his one class.
Get a car.
Yeah, right. Well, he's got one. He's got a 1980 El Camino. He's waiting on some parts to come in.
Okay.
And he's already paid for it. He's just waiting for parts to come in and get it fixed up, and then he can drive it again.
Yeah, you take yourself to school and back.
Yeah.
You know, when you were young, my parents are so cool. They got me a car. No, your parents didn't want to get up and take your ass. That's why they got you a car. Okay?
This is true.
It's not love of you. It's love of their downtime. I'm kidding. My dad gave me a car, right? This was in the 80s. He gave me think about this too, a 20-year-old car now.
Hey, Michael.
Is an 03 car, right? It's a car from the 21st century. Well, in the 80s, I was given a 1966 Ford Falcon Futura.
Oh, wow.
And it seemed like it was so old to me. But my 03 F-150 doesn't seem old to me now. I still think of it as a new truck. It was built in the 21st century.
Yeah, right.
But the car that I got, it didn't run. I mean, it would run, but it would die. Run, die. I don't know what was wrong with it. So I never really got any kind of use out of it. It's like, gee, thanks, Dad. You know, I still got to ride the bus in the morning to get to school. So yeah. Did you see Fanta posted a video for you about electric?
No, I totally missed that.
Oh, you got to subscribe to Fanta's channel.
I'm on her channel. Oh my gosh, how did I not?
Yeah, you need to go watch it. Give her a thumbs up and a
what
thank
the
you.
heck?
She said it's long overdue. I don't know why I hadn't done this before. I loved listening to Fanta talk. She was so southern.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Let's see here.
Oh, Michael makes a good point. So many weapons that can be used against depression. My weapons are exercise, friends, music, art. Yes. The problem with clinical depression is you'll have all of those things to use.
Yeah.
You don't have the gumption to use them. You just don't have the motivation. You don't even want to listen to your music. You know, it can get that bad. People go, depression can't be that bad. Excuse me. People kill themselves. So yeah, it can get that bad, which is worse, not listening to your music or ending yourself.
Right.
My nose is itching. What does it mean? If your palm itches, you're getting money. If your nose itches, somebody's coming to see you.
Oh man, who's coming to see me?
Who's coming to see me today? So Tanner, I haven't asked you. What's next for you?
Oh, for electric?
For your next project, whatever.
For my next project. Well, I just posted a thing on my Facebook page. Whoa.
That was almost funny.
What the hell just happened? My chair just gave out.
Time to go grab one of the dining room chairs.
Okay.
That's kind of a nightmare scenario for me. I don't want that to me. I'm not agile enough to have caught myself like you did. My fat ass would be on the floor, Tanner.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, that should be motivation of some sort.
That'll get the blood pumping.
I'm alive. Okay.
Woo!
Well, I posted my character, the Geigertron, who's kind of inspired a little bit by H.R. Geiger, or however. Okay. So I called him Geigertron. You know, his big giant robot. For a comic called Biotech that I'm working on.
Now, are you writing that one or drawing it, or both?
Both, actually.
Both. Ooh, I want some behind the scenes views. You don't have to do it live, but we can.
I can do it live. I can grab.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. It's a coffee shop exclusive, boys and girls. Let's see. What do we got? What do we
Here's
got?
what I just posted online.
Hold on, let me invigorate you here. Oh yeah. So he's a big boy.
Oh yeah.
And what's the 411 on him?
Basically it's like it's gonna be like Voltron. You know, I mean it's like, you know, these space explorers that work. They're actually, it's part of the Ren and Electric universe. So, you know, they've made mention in the comic of the United Galaxy Space, and that's kind of like this, you know, conglomerate government military, you know, universal organization.
Right.
Well, anyhow, they send some of their team because the U.S. Or UGS, sorry, not good with my acronyms. The UGS, basically, you know, they have land, air, and sea capabilities, and then they have their conglomerate. I made patches and everything for them, and so they put together this strike force as basically the best of land, air, and sea, and they send them out to this area where there's this beacon, or you know, something is got their attention and their interest, and they're going to send the best of the best to go investigate this thing, because obviously the powers that be think that they can use this for their own purposes, right? You know, it's a government agency.
Yeah.
So when they get there, you know, they find this biomechanical. I was telling Doc there was some people, including Doc and yourself, that I want to back. My only source of payment is PayPal, and will be unable to.
Does PayPal not work on Indiegogo?
Oh, that's weird.
Michael, are you telling me that you tried to back, but you can't on Indiegogo? If that's the case, then we can work something out for you. We can make it a combination.
Oh yeah, I can always work something out. You know, we can do a thing through PayPal.
Like you could PayPal Tanner the money, and then he could back me in your name, and I could send you the book. I can't back my own campaign. I would say send me the money, and I'll back it. It doesn't work that way. You're not allowed to back your own projects. But yeah, if you're having trouble with that, there's always a way around it. Oh, Rex told you? No, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I do know, because I've backed campaigns with my PayPal card and with my Cash App card. Now I don't know. You're making me doubt myself, Michael. I don't know what I remember.
No, I'm pretty sure you can with PayPal. Yeah.
Tanner, hold the fort. Let me get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. So kind of telling the tale about, you know, Geigertron and how he shows up. Basically, you know, these explorers are going to go to this world and everything, and then what they'll do is they'll discover a biomechanical entity that gives them kind of like a power suit. And then that's where my Power Ranger, Super Sentai inspiration kind of comes into play with it, where I throw that in there. Because that's all my stories are. You know, they're just conglomerates of originality and stuff that I enjoyed when I was a kid. You know, mainly Saturday morning cartoons and giant robot and giant monster, you know, movies from Japan and Korea, places like that. That's where all my stories come from. You know, that and a mix of like heavy metal and, you know, artists and stories that I've come to look into. But yeah, so, you know, the explorers will find this biotech material, and then they'll be able to combine and make Geigertron, which is that character that I just showed everybody.
So I didn't know you had a kind of a a manga influence in your stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it in some of the work, but you never talked about it before.
Yeah, I do. I also spent 2 years in Japan too.
Yeah.
I spent some time in Korea. So
Oh.
I actually got to, yeah. Well, my time was actually fun. Because in my off time, I was going to a lot of the studios, before they were really huge right now, doing work for Japanese studios and even American, comics. So you could just go in there and you could visit and they'd show you around, and they were so
Nice.
accommodating, for a guy that couldn't speak the language, and it was pretty cool, and they'd show me stuff that they're working on, and I get to look at all the artists as they were painting, doing matte painting, and they were doing the I can't remember what some of it's called. Cell animation.
But that's cool nonetheless. But I remember there were certain duty stations that I never wanted. I mean, no, let me rephrase that. There were certain duty stations that were on my hell no list, and Diego Garcia was number one.
Oh man!
It's a little island about this big in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's the most distant base that we have. And it's big enough for an airport and a bowling alley, I swear. And I was like, please no. But Korea was on there for me. I didn't want to go to Korea.
Oh man, see, I loved it. I actually wanted it, and I volunteered. And see, I didn't know that everyone doesn't want Korea, so I volunteer for it. And I'm like, oh god, I hope I get it. I'll never get it. They're not going to give me exactly what I want.
Did Army, did they give you your dream sheet? You're
They
being
do.
transferred, pick your 3 places.
Yeah.
And you rarely ever get them. On my dream sheet, when I was in 1st Marine Division, I wrote, get me off the West Coast. I don't care where you send me. That was all 3 choices. Just get me the hell off the West Coast.
Just get me away.
They said, detailer called me up and he said, well, back then the way it worked was you would get a phone call, automated phone call, that gave you an appointment on the Audubon line to talk to your detailer. So I called my detailer, and he goes, what does this even mean? I was like, I don't care what shithole you stick me in. You've got to get me off the West Coast. I'm dying out here. I hate it. And he's like, you realize that's going to be like Paris Island or Camp Lejeune or Cherry Point? I'm like, yeah. You're not scaring me one bit. So that's what I got, because nobody
We call
wanted to
those
do this.
our branch manager. And you'd call up your branch manager if you're trying to get like something specific.
You
What?
got to think, man, the detailers, those guys, man, you could skate. Like, look, I could get you that choice duty station you want, but unfortunately, my car keeps breaking down, and it's hey, grease those skids a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. Couple of choice MREs that get you what you want.
I remember that back in the day. Now they all suck. I don't know why they keep coming. They come up with some weird stuff. They came up with pizza, but it don't taste like pizza. And
no, Tanner was Army, and I wasn't Marine Corps. I was Navy, but I was in the Fleet Marine Force, which is a combination of Navy and Marine Corps. That's the fighting part of the Corps. It's not the support part. So when you hear FMF, that's the Marines that go out and do the killing, or the training, or the training to kill. When you're not killing,
the fun training, yeah,
the fun stuff, yes. And technically, because I was a TAR, which stood for temporarily active reservist, even though your hitch is just as long as active duty, I could be assigned to J, what was it, 3 that was training, S3.
Okay. Yep.
which meant I went to the training commands. You were deployable with your parent unit, but like wherever training was happening, they would send you. So that meant, Camp Lejeune, Camp Geiger, Parris Island, 2 tours on Parris Island. And I loved it. You're not scaring me. I love Parris Island.
Right.
But it also meant that as part of the FMF, they could call you up and say, in 12 hours, your ass will be in a jungle somewhere. Okay. All of that preferable to being stationed on the West Coast.
Every unit I was in was rapid deployment, and so you could get called up at any moment.
Yeah. Did they still call it RDF back then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what I called it, and I've only been out for a couple of years now.
Yeah. Now, did they still have Reforger when you were in?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering when Russia came stomping across the border to the Ukraine. I wonder if the Army did Reforger, because that's refortified Germany in 24 hours. That's moving a lot of manpower and material.
See, what did we call it? We call it something different now, but me and a few other people called it Reforger, the older guys. And, God, yeah, I did all that. We went where you're in Germany, you're in Europe, you're in Poland. We did Poland a lot.
Oh,
okay. We did, well, mainly we were doing Poland because, Russia was sending their troops over.
Now,
so
I'm
we did
a show of force. I've never been there, but I'm given to understand that Poland is actually beautiful.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I laugh because we got there during like their winter, and it's kind of like a monsoony type thing. Yeah. Like there's cold, you might get snow, or you're just going to get rain. Either or. It's shitty. It's muddy.
It's cold, wet,
shitty.
miserable.
It's coldy. Yeah, it's coldy.
Coldy. It's coldy.
It's coldy.
Get that on t-shirts, Tanner. It's coldy outside.
Coldy. It's coldy outside.
I have on my mother's side, we have Ukrainians in our bloodline.
Okay.
And, I'm given to understand that when it's not being crushed in some war or the other, it's actually beautiful. It's a lot like the Midwest.
Yeah.
Hi, Fanta. Good morning.
Fanta, how are you?
Fanta, I was just telling Tanner that you did your video on electric. You answered some questions I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Oh.
We aim to please.
Hey, that's what I do.
You got your coffee, Tanner?
I haven't picked up my coffee yet. I came in and just got on the stream, and I didn't even think about coffee. Well, give me a second. I'll go get some coffee. I'll be right back. You go get some
coffee, but he was very appreciative, Fanta, that you spotlighted electric on your channel. And I went over and I watched it, and I gave you a like. So thank you for doing what you do, Fanta. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link, Fanta and Dawn and Michael. If you guys want to pop in and just hang out, you are welcome to do so. I have very simple rules for live streaming. Don't be a dick. Oh, it was very well done, Fanta. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy your reviews, Fanta. They're good. They're enthusiastic. They're thorough. You give enough without giving too much. You don't beat it over the head. You say, here's what it is. Here's what I like. And if you want it, you'll get it. I like that. Hey, Shadowhawk, my brother. Good to see you this morning, sir. Been missing you. I kept wanting to pop in with you and Rex. Well, for the last 2 days, I just kept missing you. Every time I'd go, the stream was over. Like, son of a bitch. Oh, Fanta, that's what we're doing right now. We're waking up on camera. We're having coffee to wake up. I was sharing earlier before you guys jumped in, man, I was just dragging this morning. You know, we still get up at the same time. Normally up at 4, and I'm usually working by 6. I got up at 4, but I just could not make myself get to work. I'm like, you know what? I just need to stream. I need to stream, talk to my friends. That'll get me good and awake. You guys feel like having some Bud Light, by the way? Is Bud Light a more appealing product to you today than it was, say, last year when it was still piss? But I have a question about that. Either from your firsthand knowledge or, okay. You had a bug or something. We had a couple of short streams. Okay. All right. So it wasn't me. I thought I was popping in at a normal time, but the shit was over already. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. I had a bug last weekend. It was a stomach bug and it tore me up, but it was short lived. It was gone the next day. But either someone that's good at searching stuff on the internet or someone who perhaps has firsthand knowledge. I'm not a big beer drinker, but every now and then I want a cold beer. I will no longer back a Budweiser product. And so I need to know what beer that I could go to the store and get is not a Budweiser product. Now, I know Coors is one of them, but I've never really liked Coors. So somebody look that up and tell me, what can I go get that's not a Budweiser product? Yeah. I hear you. I can't understand how anyone would think that a product that you've been trying to market to football fans, to NFL fans, to NASCAR fans, how did you think that having a person pretending to be a woman, a caricature of a woman, would be a good spokesperson? Miller High Life, and Miller's not associated with Bud. What about Michelob? Because I like Michelob. Is that a Budweiser product? Somebody tell me. Because I will not give a dime to anybody that goes woke. Hello, Phantom, my love.
Hey, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Like I said, I just woke up. I'm still a little groggy.
I hear you. My ass is just dragging today. You know, normally when you see me doing my free refills during the week, it's because I'm dragging and I need to get woke up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I put your link in that video because Tanner's always over here with you.
And I appreciate it. Yeah. Tanner's my co-host.
Yeah.
On the coffee shop. I work this side of the bar. He works that side of the bar.
You're sitting at the end of the bar with your drink and your cigarette watching everybody, right?
Yeah.
Making sure nobody's behaving.
Yeah. Well, always. You know, in Doc's coffee shop, we all behave ourselves. We're all adults. If you got to fight, you go in the alley out back. You know, don't mess up my place. Oh man, so Michelob is a Budweiser product. Nope, can't have Mick then. Damn it.
I hear people talk about Stella or Stellar or however you say it.
Strella.
Strella?
I've heard of Strella.
Hey, Fanta.
Tanner.
Hey, Tanner.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, all right. Get out of my head.
I hope my video's good enough for you. I enjoy doing it.
I need to pull it up.
Well, mute yourself and go watch it, Tanner, because she did a good job for you. I'm still waiting on the chat to tell me I need an alternative beer for those times I want to drink beer to Budweiser. They lost $6 billion in revenue.
In
since
like
they-
3 days.
Yeah, over like a week. And that's a good thing. They need to get
Yeah.
stung and learn a lesson.
Supposedly, the higher ups didn't know that she did that, and she did it without approval. That's what's going around.
That's what I'm hearing too. But I'm sorry, that's closing the barn doors after the horse got out. It's still your fault.
Yeah, how can someone that's not higher up get
Do
that
that.
made?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got to sign off on that stuff and things, and I don't know.
I'm not buying
What's
that
up?
story. I'm not buying that excuse.
Mm-mm.
You wanted to go woke because you thought it'd be a good idea, and for some reason you didn't expect to get kicked in the balls by it. Pardon the pun.
I know.
Oh, see you, Shadowhawk. He says, "Learn to love Guinness." I don't know, Fanta. You got to find me a go-to beer for when I absolutely want a beer.
I really don't like beer, but when I was in the UK, I got I had my first shandy that's made with Peroni, Italian beer.
Now, you went to some pubs.
Yeah.
Is the beer warm?
No.
Okay, cool. That was my only fear, but I didn't want to ask one of my UK friends that because it's such a stereotype. They drink warm beer. Ugh.
Yeah. No, it was cold. And the shandy, it's the beer and it's lemonade. But their lemonade's so different. It's not as sweet, of course, as ours.
Uh-huh.
And so it's more of the lemon. And they said that over here, the closest thing I could get would be like 7-Up.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, but here's the thing. Okay. I love tons of things about the UK culture,
Mm-hmm.
particularly English culture, British culture.
Yeah.
But there are some things that we just do right here better than they'll ever do over there. And one of those is lemonade. If you go to Chick-fil-A, you're going to get the best lemonade on the planet. Period. We do coffee better than they do. They obviously do tea better than we do. They do beer better than we do.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of Liney's. Lenny's? Never heard of it.
Uh-uh.
Oh, God. Fanta, if I have to start drinking Coors.
Mm.
Oh, my gosh.
See, I don't drink beer, just drink beer.
Right?
I'm more of a...
Once in a while.
I just don't like the taste of it. And I know there's different ones, but... Ugh. What about Sam Adams?
That's a good one. Let me see. Beer is not owned by Anheuser-Busch. Let's see. Miller. Miller beer. That's it.
That's
the
it?
That's it on the archives. Let me see. Let's see what this one says. Miller is not owned. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Where did it go? There's a brand called American Dad's Ultra Right 100% Woke Free American Beer. Let's see. So far, it's just saying Miller. They can't be all. What about Yuengling?
I know what that is.
All right, there was Stella Artois is one you talked about.
Okay.
Ooh. But that's a Budweiser product, so.
I've heard lots of people on panels talking about what they can and can't drink now, or won't drink.
Right. All right, here we go. Let's click this website. Again, Miller.
I loved Kid Rock's reaction. That was awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So much.
Miller and Coors are the same company.
Mm.
So Miller and Coors. Good Lord. All right. Well, I mean, hell, the easy answer is Miller or Coors. So I've never been a fan of either, but I'm not a big beer drinker either. So it's not really going to matter.
Yeah.
Hello, Kate.
Hey, Kate. Oh, and hello, everyone in the chat. Sorry I didn't individually say hi if you did.
Well, Michael had to leave. Shadowhawk had to leave. Dawn is here. Kate is here. Charles is lurking and watching in the background. Tanner is really into your video. Look at him. He's focused. He's concentrating.
I know.
Either that or he's constipated. He's like, shut up, Doc. I'm trying to watch this.
I'm not constipated.
No? How does that happen? How do you... Never mind. I started to make a joke that was going to go sideways quickly. Yes, he's balancing, hoping his chair doesn't fall apart on him.
No, this one's good. This one's good.
Oh, he grabbed a different chair. You missed it. His chair broke while he was sitting in it.
Oh, no.
Hey, Tree Goblin. Good morning, my friend. Or good afternoon over there.
Hey, Tree.
Hey.
I mean, did he fall and disappear because his chair broke?
No, but the acrobatics were pretty good. he did some amazing acrobatics to keep from falling.
Santa, I love the video. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad. They're not professional by any means. It's all screenshots and screen recordings. So.
Nothing wrong with that.
You do it very well, Fanta.
You do it well. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope it gets a lot of eyes on your project.
Hey, me too.
At least new ones. And I was talking about it too on Rex's yesterday. I brought it up once or twice.
Nice.
Yep. That's the thing. There are people in the audience that watches the coffee shop that know me that are going to support my endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get fully funded, I got to get in front of different audiences, get different eyeballs on this.
Yeah.
So I made a mistake in my thinking, not in my action, a few weeks ago. Will, who is a friend of mine at Creators Outlet, he said, yeah, come on out. We'll talk about your project. I'm like, all right. But I'm thinking in my head secretly, I've been on Will streams before. There's not a whole lot of people watching. There were 5 people watching. I got 4 backers.
Awesome.
There's no such thing is the point of a show too small to go on. Because fresh eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I went on last night with Crimson Owl a really good interview, man. He did a good interview. I enjoyed it.
Bless you.
But not sure if anybody saw it or not. I couldn't tell.
Thank you.
We did, yes, God bless you. We did have a moment though. He booted himself out of his own podcast. So there I am all by myself on his show with his audience. I don't know these people. They don't know me. And I said, I feel like I was on a flight to the Bahamas having a daiquiri in the back and the pilot is dead up front. It's all well and good while we're in the air, but sooner or later this bitch got to land. And what was funny was he didn't know he had kicked himself. So he was off camera, steadily talking into the dead air, and he came back on. Of course, he was laughing about it. We had a good time with it. But he left us. He left us.
My show now.
Oh, so how are things in Alabama?
All right. I don't get out much. Yeah.
It's supposed to be thunderstorms here again today, Tanner. So what? 2 days from now, you'll have thunderstorms.
Yeah. Well, I had them late yesterday. That was for sure. That was nice.
Are you close to us in the South?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Savannah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, a little outside of Savannah, but
so
close enough.
If you leave and you drive southwest or southeast, you'll get to me, and then we'll jump in a car and we head even more east southeast or south southeast, and we get to Tanner's house.
Road trip.
I know, right?
The problem with this, I've shared before, is if I get back anywhere near the Low Country, which is right across the river from Tanner, I'll never come home. I'll never come back here.
It's so nice. It's so nice. I love it. And we're in the sweet spot too. Like the hurricane shows up and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that even a direct hit by a hurricane to that area isn't that bad. The wind is, but the barrier islands soak up all that energy.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get hit. Like Hunting Island is being erased. It's just,
oh yeah, Tybee, Jekyll.
Yeah. Hello, Dawn. Good
Dawn,
morning.
how are you?
Hello. Good morning.
Hi, Dawn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Vanta.
Thank you.
Dawn is one of our regulars in the chat. We're always
I've seen her. Yeah.
She is the managing agent for Michaela Jade. So
oh wow.
Sorta.
Sorta, kind of, maybe.
Hey, you guys, I need to grab some coffee. I'll be right back.
You gotta have
Hold
coffee.
down the fort.
I will.
Oh hell.
Oh man, you're all in trouble now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Tattooed.
What are we doing? Tattoos? I'm down.
I wish.
Smiley faces. Yeah.
I could do a chat. Actually, I have a friend that's being an apprentice right now, and she keeps going, anybody need tattoos? And I'm like, oh, I wish.
My oldest is following in his dad's footsteps doing tattoos.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's
I
just
totally
like his
respect
dad.
that. So pretty good artist.
Yeah. He's even his dad said that every time you do one, you learn. You're still learning.
Oh,
No matter how long you've been doing it, you're still learning.
it doesn't matter if it's on skin, if it's on paper, or whatever. It's that's the same thing. Like you're always
Yeah.
learning. You know.
Yeah.
If you
Art is
stop
art.
learning, you stop living.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true.
Their dad's no longer with us. We lost him in May. It'll be a couple years. Motorcycle accident. But
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
well, thank you. And I'm not trying to bring anything down. I'm just saying my oldest is just like him. So it's kind of like he's still here.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
always there in spirit, right?
Even the things that make me go, today you're your dad's child. Today you're your dad's child.
Yeah. Our children, for better or for worse, there's a lot of us in our kids.
Oh yeah.
Normally, my daughter, she looks like me. She's got a lot of my attributes. So. No, she got all the things that used to piss people off. Like girls used to, when I was younger, it used to drive them nuts. They're like, "You got high cheekbones and thick eyelashes." They're like, "But you're a dude," you know. No, you know, I had a lot of hair back then, and you know,
I had hair once. Damn it!
so I had the hair going, and it was all like, you know, Fabio-esque and everything. Yeah, it was great. It was long and freaking.
I just can't picture that.
Oh, I wish I had a picture handy. I'd show you.
Tanner's all Fabio-esque.
Yeah.
Did you just see him on the front of a paperback with his shirt open and the wind blowing his hair?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, well, there went Doc's motivation.
The days of our loins.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Lord. I'm gonna
that's what I'm saying. So my daughter got all that, and my wife was like, "Oh, you would," you know.
I got a picture here somewhere of me with long hair. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, like my forehead used to be a little bit shorter back in the day.
Oh, here it is.
Like we're all just like baiting, right? Holding bated breath, waiting for this picture.
I know. I want to see this.
Oh, it's terrible.
All the more reason to go. Now we really want to see it.
Terrible.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Ex-wife number one, my oldest son who's deceased now, and my sister hiding behind him, and me with my poodle hair.
I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say that.
Oh
wow.
I'm thinking,
wow,
David Coverdale.
You know, now, the idea was that, you know, you do the hair curly so you don't get the little Dutch boy thing as it's growing. But when you go on stage, you straighten it so it's longer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Headbang better. So that was the idea behind that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those days are long gone. Now I'm part of the big, the bad, the bold, and the beautiful.
I used to shave it. That's the sad part. Like before it started like receding and everything. Yeah. I'm like, why did I do that? Why didn't I enjoy it while I could?
Thick hair. He shaves his head. It's like, you know, people want your hair, right? He's like, I hate it.
Yeah, I remember when my hair had gotten its longest, which was a few inches longer than it was in that picture. I was so pissed off. I had to get it cut. I was in a legal battle with my ex, and my attorney's like, "You got to get a haircut to go in front of this judge because he's gonna blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" So went and got it cut, and didn't do a lick of good. This was when sexual discrimination was still legal in court. You know, it didn't matter if, let's say, for example, the mother of a child in a custody dispute is shooting up drugs, selling her sorry self for money, and is homeless. They would say the child belongs with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
I own my own business. I own my own home. I have a savings account. I'm an honorably discharged veteran. I am by far the more competent parent here. But no, a child belongs with his mother. Where's that written?
Yeah.
What law is that? Now, fortunately, that's not happening so much anymore, and I'm glad. But
Yeah, thank God for it.
now I'll say this. Both of my children's mothers straightened their shit up. Both of them. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
They pulled their heads out of their asses and they straightened up. So that's a good thing. And my younger son, Christian, his mom and I get along great now. We just can't be around each other for very long, but we get along just fine.
You're cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call the guy she married my husband-in-law because he's responsible for straightening her out.
That's good.
He was a non-custodial father, and his ex was playing games with him and his kid. And he told my ex, if we're going to be together, you ain't going to play them games between that boy and his daddy. And buddy, I mean, she straightened right the hell up then.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
So,
Awesome. How's Pariah doing, Doc?
We're at 71%, Fanta.
Oh, man. How much longer?
25 days, I think.
Okay, plenty of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, we're good. There's always that lull in the middle, you know.
Oh yeah.
We came out hard and strong. I think we got to over 50% in 24 hours. So
Nice.
on the wrap up, I'm sure we'll be okay.
And you got, Lightbringer funded, so Anthony can put more into.
Whoa.
I know he put his all into both of them, but now he can kind of relax about that one and focus on this one.
Who is this?
Anthony?
Yeah. That's because I'm shadow banned, Carrie. The direct link, however, is in the description here on YouTube. So if you want to grab it from there, you certainly can. And good morning. It's good to see you.
Hello, Angel.
Always good to see Carrie. Always a pleasure.
Hey, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Let me go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to pin the StreamYard link. So if anyone wants to pop in, they can.
There we go.
All right. The link is pinned. And the link to my Indiegogo is in the chat. I mean, not the chat, what's it called? The description.
Yeah.
Come on, Dawn. You know this stuff. You manage the social media for Michaela. You're supposed to be right on top of this stuff.
I've only had a half a cup of coffee. Good luck.
I hear you.
100% forgiven.
We're at that point where it's like, it's there somewhere. Just find it.
Yes, you know the thing.
The thing.
Yeah.
Thing with the thing over there with the other thing that do you do the thing with?
Yeah. click the whatchamacallit and
Yeah. Click the hitch-majig and that'll take you to the Dimaflatchy and
yeah.
you'll be good to go. Oh my God. So-
man, you said something and it made up word or whatever, and it made me think of the nasal pharyngean. But come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Dimaflatchy.
That thing that they stuff up your nose.
goes
in so you can breathe.
Oh yeah, the innovation tubes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do they call it? The nasal pharyngean.
Nasal pharyngeal.
Pharyngeal. Yeah.
I didn't realize what you're talking
That's
about.
a very big word for this early in the morning.
Isn't it? Wow, Tanner.
We just say NG tube. This nasal gastric, you can run it that you can let me be careful with this. In a bind, you can use it for the gastric use, or you can use it to open an airway in an emergency.
Huh.
G.I. Joe.
The more you know.
There's the rainbow and the stars. The more you know.
It's in
You're
a
putting
book.
more stuff in my head.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, we're
You-
bringing it all.
You
I
gotta
love it.
see Jimmy Fallon as Jim Morrison singing "Reading Rainbow." If you
Oh,
haven't,
no.
you have to. It is so good.
Back when Jimmy Fallon was funny, yeah.
Yes. There's a rocket in my pocket and a Horton. Here's a who. He's like, reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. It's so good.
Your interpretation is just as good.
Yes.
Yeah, Kate, I gotta send you some composition studies so you can pick what you want. I'm doing a commission for Kate, a painting.
Oh, very nice.
What's up,
Nice.
Sketchbook?
Hey, Sketchpad.
Kate says
I call him that because I messed up in chat the first time I met him and wrote Sketchpad, and he comes back with, "That's my son."
I like
it's-
that.
It stuck though. I always call him Sketchpad. Like Pale Rider, Rex mixed up and said PayPal one day when he was saying Pale Rider, and it stuck in my head. So he's PayPal now. What he is.
and it's stuck because I call him that too.
You do.
Yeah.
I've heard you call him that.
We're always glad to have Sketchbook hanging out.
Yes.
Good guy.
Yes.
He's an old Army guy too, Tanner.
Heck yeah.
Bunch of freaking Army people around here.
Well, it
I
is the
wasn't,
largest
I wasn't in the
branch, so-
service, but Ted was, so he was a Navy boy.
Oh, nice.
No, there used to be more of us. When I served, the Navy was the biggest branch. Not by much, but we were bigger.
I have sent your mostly sort of true about learning how to swim to him, and I'm like, you need to watch that video, and he will not do it. And I'm like, dude, it's totally you.
You know, the third one is done. I've just got to do the voiceover for it.
Oh, God. I cannot wait.
I keep forgetting about it.
I know, right?
Seriously, those are great. I'm telling you.
They're fun too.
They are.
This one was about my meeting a dog named Satan.
Mostly sort of true, huh?
We built a house at the end of this dirt road, dead end road, and these people moved in up at the top, and there was a fenced in yard, but they had a dog named Satan. I kid you not, and the dog looked like Satan and acted like Satan. So this video is all about learning that your parents don't know shit, because they kept giving me advice on how to deal with the dog, and they were both wrong.
Well, kids don't come with an instruction manual. I mean, we're winging it every day. Every day.
My mom had friends that had a dog named Bullshit.
Oh, no way.
And when I was little, I couldn't call it because it's a bad word, you know?
Right.
It was hell trying to get that dog to come to me.
No, my buddy
Full
had
stuff.
the best,
Come here. Come over here.
Yeah. Bull poop. Come here.
My buddy had the best name for a dog ever, though. He had this old mutt that lived at his place. And by old, I mean he was old. He was gray, muzzled, and just lazy and old. And but my buddy loved him. He rescued him from a pound, you know, because he was old and nobody wanted him.
Yeah.
So he named him Ask Him. What's your dog's name? Ask Him.
I know somebody who did that.
Yes.
I knew
I
somebody
like
whose
that.
dog name was Ask Him as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Out of here.
A big old Shar-Pei.
Well, I know the next name for the next dog I have. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a warrant officer that I served with, Joe Giddings. Joe, if you're out there and you're still alive, love you, bro. He was my sea daddy. Now, if you don't know what a sea daddy is, these are the guys that take your career under their wing and they help you along the way.
Yeah.
And, he was my medical mentor because he smoked a pipe and he would say, "Call me Joe." He didn't want to be called Mr. Giddings or Warrant Officer Giddings. Just call me Joe. Super nice guy. He raised Shar-Peis. The first pure blood Shar-Pei registered with AKC was Chang. And he had one named Acapella, Queen of Spades, daughter of Chang. So he just called her Queenie for short. She was the first offspring from the first litter of Chang. So when he would breed her and have puppies, man, he could buy a car for the price of one of them puppies.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So,
Well, my dog's name is Poot. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's cats. That's cats.
Well, as you can tell, I have a cat. That's Georgette, and then her brother Buddy.
Right.
I got 3 of them. We've got Pukey. That's not an original name. But she puked in front of me, and I was like, "Well, there you go."
Yes, yes.
And the kids
You
loved
named
it. They
yourself.
thought that was hilarious, and so then they calling her
Now,
Pukey.
now, wait a minute. What does the Army call a sea daddy?
Wow.
Sarah?
Can I say it on here?
Seriously, what does the Army call that senior enlisted or officer
Oh,
that takes your career under their wing and helps you along?
a mentor.
All right, bye, Tanner. Mentor. Police officers call him a rabbi.
Oh, I mean, I know platoon sergeants have been called platoon daddies.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we call him a sea daddy, and without shame, Sketch, because your sea daddy can make or break your career for sure. My oldest son was named after a lieutenant commander. He was one of my OICs, and he was so cool. And he literally saved. What's up, PayPal? He literally saved.
PayPal.
He saved my bacon because I pissed off a chief, petty officer, and Commander Paul Barrett saved my bacon with him. This chief, I was standing watch, and I was talking to Commander Barrett, and the phone started ringing, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, I got to get the phone." And he said, "Oh, let somebody else get it." And he kept talking. Well, the chief down the hall didn't hear that. So he screams, "Blaylock, get the effing phone." And I went, before I could say anything, the commander said, "You answer the effing phone. He's busy." Now, why not know the dynamic here? Even an officer treads lightly when they bark at a chief who's an enlisted man, because chiefs run the Navy. And it takes an act of Congress to bust one of them. So that chief that chief got it in for me. And so he got me one day. I mean, he got me. I ran from my workstation to my vehicle without my cover on my grape. And he got me. And when he said something to me, that's just a uniform correction. It's not a big deal. I couldn't help it. My mouth fired off before I thought about it. And an FU and a bird flipped. And next thing you know, it's insubordination. And and I'm in trouble now. And Commander Barrett, just pretty as you please, he lit a cigarette and he strolled into the chief's office with a cup of coffee. He goes, "You're going to drop that bullshit against Blaylock, and you're going to do it today, Chief. Can't bust you, can't send you to see the old man, but I can, by God, station you in the worst fucking place in this whole command for the rest of your tour."
Dang.
They dropped it. So, oh, let me see. A lot of people assume pirates prefer to be in the Navy, but actually they prefer to be in the Army. I don't even know what that means.
Army.
Oh, I got it.
Ooh, Doc.
PayPal. Pick one and suck it, buddy.
PayPal's spicy.
Well, I my youngest, or not my youngest, my middle-aged child, he's dead set on going Navy. He's going to go Navy. He's Navy everything. And I love him dearly, but I have to razz him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Caden, so you do know why, you put the name tape on the back of your pants, right? He's like, no, why, Dad? I said, it's so that they can know who they're fucking.
I always love it when people tell me, "Oh, I was in the Army." I, without fail, I say, "Yeah, that's kind of like being in the military."
Well, I can't give you too much shit. Usually, people are like, they say something about the Army, and I'm like, like 90% of movies made are about the Army, and then the ones that are, we talk shit even in the service. So then, especially when you're like a tanker, and I'm like, and I got like a supply guy talking shit. And I'm like, how many movies have been made about supply? I
mean, it's easier to do Army movies because you can do a lot more fiction with them because they're just kind of a made-up entity.
Well, they do that with Marines all the time, Space Marines and all that kind of stuff.
The U.S. Navy will start to equip all their subs with emotional support dogs. After a lot of study, they decided on Dachshunds. They will be submariners.
I like it.
So there is a really good joke, and it says the reason that there's a rivalry between the branches of the military.
What's up, Apex?
Because we don't speak the same language. Okay, so Apex always gets.
None of us do. Yeah.
So take the word secure. If you tell the Marines to secure a building, they're going to go in and kill everybody in the building. If you tell the Army to secure a building, they'll put a perimeter around it. If you tell the Navy to secure a building, they'll put a lock on the front door and post a watch outside. If you tell the Air Force to secure a building, they'll take out a lease with the option to buy.
But we got to add one now. So what does the Space Force do?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. See, the joke writes itself. What does the Space Force do?
Well, PayPal, I was FMF. So I was part of the Fleet Marine Force because, as you know, the Marine Corps does not have its own religious or medical personnel. Navy chaplains and Navy medical, some of them get carved off of the Navy and shipped over to the Marine Corps, permanently assigned to the Corps. You live by their regulations, you go to their bases, you wear their uniforms, except it says Navy where it would say Marine Corps. That's the only difference. Except our dress uniforms are different. We still wear the Cracker Jacks, not their dress blues. It's the only difference. So I most strongly identify with my Marine Corps brothers than I do with my Navy. Navy guys that were the blue water sailors, like one of my best friends, he was a blue water sailor. He was on a frigate for 6 years, same ship. I couldn't even imagine. And a frigate is the smallest ship the Navy runs. They don't even have them anymore. They got rid of all of them. smaller than a destroyer. It's like, how were you on that same little bitty ship for 6 years? He goes, you wonder why I'm fucked up? But he was a blue water sailor. He was always out to sea. I wasn't that guy. People say, you were in the Navy, what were you on? Usually my belly crawling through the mud.
Makes sense.
Did you hear the story of the SAS going into a prison riot rescue? They were only armed with wooden sticks. Mission took 4 minutes. I haven't heard of that, but I would not doubt it. SAS, some bad boys.
Yeah. Oh God.
Met a few. Didn't interact with them, but they came and they trained at either Lejeune or Paris. The training facilities. That's one of the things you do if you're a special operator. You travel around and you use people's gas chambers, grenade ranges, rifle.
Sure
ranges,
do, man. I'm telling
towers.
Those are always good days when you happen to be training with the special forces guys, and you get to get all excited and be like, oh, they're special forces. And you do. Yeah, I sound like I'm mocking it, but no, you get really giddy and you're like, try to act cool because they're badass.
We did have some kind of butch females. I can't really remember. We had some Canadian, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Special Operations Team. I don't know what they call them. Right? They were going to come train on our rappelling tower. And they showed up, right on time with their platoon leader. It was just a platoon of them. And so we're going to jump them. And that doesn't take long. You jump a series. A series is half of a company. So it doesn't take any time at all to do just a platoon. They showed up and they had the fancy web gear for the rappelling. And our senior rappelling instructor came over and he said, all right, take off that web gear, drop it on the ground. You're not using that. You're going to be issued this. And he holds up a length of rope and he goes, you're going to tie your own seat. The seat you tie is the seat you ride. And their officer got into an argument with our. Now, I'm the range safety officer. We don't do anything if I don't say go. And if I say stop, they stop. So I have to be in on this discussion. But I had enough sense by this point in my career to keep my mouth shut. That's a foreign officer. I don't want to get in trouble that high in the chain of command. The gunny standing next to me dug his heels in. And he said, I'll tell you what there, sir, when we come to your tower, we'll wear your pansy-ass strap-on gear. But on my tower, the seat you tie is the seat you ride or you get on your bus and get the fuck out of here. And I was like, ooh. You can use your D-rings. That's it. That's the only gear they were allowed to use. But I'm here to tell you, those guys had no idea how to tie a rappelling seat. Buddy, he had their undivided attention when he said, the one you're tying around your waist right now is the one you're jumping off that 70-foot tower with. They went, how do I do this?
Oh, man. No, it's funny.
Cav and Rangers, yeah. Why would the Cav need to rappel?
Cav?
Why would the Cav need to rappel?
Cav does air assault.
Oh, air Cav. Yeah. I was traditional Cav,
Well, the traditional Cav is the one that gets the air assault.
I'm talking about armor.
Like that.
Armor, you tanker.
That's armored Cav. So
right,
see, now you're talking apples and oranges.
Yeah, here's what I know. Gonna go rappelling.
Well, we cross train all the time.
Yeah. Tanks
You never know.
Tanks don't go rappelling.
The Army tried that, actually. They tried airborne tankers. And the idea was they would drop a tank. And they tested it with the first idea. Get this. They thought, we're gonna drop a tank with people in it so that the crew can just land and go. So they put crash test dummies inside of it and dropped a tank with their parachute riggings and everything like that. It hit the ground, and then they went in there to investigate it and see how the crew was. And the test dummies were just torn to shreds.
Yeah, no shit.
Was.
And they said, maybe this isn't a good idea. But then they thought, okay, we'll drop the tank, and then we'll drop in the crew behind it.
Yeah.
So they sent, and one of my first line supervisors was an airborne qualified tanker. And we were like, well, that's odd. There's something you don't see every day. And he was telling us the story about he was with this group, and, you know, they made him go to jump school so that, you know, he could jump in behind his tank. And I was like, that's pretty badass, actually.
That's air mobile, not airborne. I had to learn the difference. And we had oh my God. One Saturday, I showed up for duty. And on that day, my assignment was to go do brig sit call, go do sit call for the prisoners in the brig. So I go, and there's a drill instructor I know in there as a prisoner. I'm like, what are you doing in here? He goes, yeah, I got a little bit of trouble. He wore wings because he was Airedale. And a recruit asked him what it was like to be airborne. For me. He said, well, it's a lot like this. And he threw him off the balcony. That's what it's like to be airborne, you shithead.
Jeez.
He ended up big. I don't know why. I didn't see anything wrong with that response.
We've already thought.
Never get veterans to start talking shit.
Oh yeah. Man, you were talking, God, you got me thinking about all kinds of stuff. You were talking about warrant officers. You want to hear a funny story? The first time I ever met a warrant officer, I was in the Air Force. So, you know, I'm dual service. And but the funny thing was they had me on gate guard duty. You know, no big deal. You know, the people come through and you send them on their way. You know, officer comes by, you salute and whatnot. So anyhow, this guy comes up, and I look at his card, looks legit, okay, and I hand it back to him, and he's just standing there, and he's looking at me. I'm like, no, you're good. You can go through the gate. And he's like, aren't you forgetting something? And I go, no, you're good to go. You can go. And he's gets all grumpy and everything. So my first line supervisor comes over to the gate about an hour later, and he goes, hey Hurley, let me talk at you for a minute.
Got a call.
We got a call. Yeah. They're like, so did you forget to salute officers? I was like, hell no. I was like, every officer that comes through here, I've saluted. You know, I've done the right thing. And he goes, do you know what a warrant officer is? I was like, what the hell is that? Because the Air Force don't have warrant officers. So, you know, ICWO, I thought he was just like a civilian contractor.
Now, see, everybody knows that drill sergeants and drill instructors wear the Smokey the Bear hat. Officers don't wear those in the Marine Corps. Only enlisted drill instructors wear them. It's dark 30, and I'm headed into the branch clinic to go get a new pair of glasses because I broke my last ones on an op. And this drill instructor comes out, and I walked by him, and he goes, what did he say? Is your arm broken there, Corpsman? Now, first of all, any Marine calling me a Corpsman is on my bad side because I'm docked. I've earned it.
Yeah.
But I turned around and I said, what? And he goes, is your arm broken? Where's my salute? And I just looked at him. And he goes, are you blind? I said, well, I'm not blind, but I am here to get glasses. And he walks up to me, and I see a gold braid where normally the black braid is, you know. So I'm like, okay, good morning, sir. And I go inside, it diffuses. He goes his way. I go inside. And I stopped at the quarterdeck. I said, what the fuck was that? And apparently, he was a warrant officer for some reason wearing a campaign cover. And for the life of me, I never found out why. Officers don't wear those. But that was funny. Are you blind? Well, no, but I'm here to get glasses. And it's dark.
Well,
You should have just started feeling his face.
Samantha, I was right there with you without my glasses. I'm going to say that. Let me feel your collars. Oh, you're an ensign.
You're an ensign. Oh, man. So I worked with the Navy, and there we were. This is another Air Force story. So when I was in the Air Force, we were guarding flight line security. I was a security forces guy. So there they had me on air base defense. So this plane comes in. I want to say it was like an F-18 Hornet or something like that. A couple Hornets come in. Okay, there's nothing scheduled. So, I mean, the Air Force is like, what the hell? They do like an emergency stop or whatever. That's what we took it as. Okay. Right. So, the flight guys do whatever the flight people do. And then, we check with the pilots and, make sure that they're US and everything's good because, this was a major breach, right?
Yeah.
So I tell my partner at the time, I said, hey, I want you to go up to there because there was the Navy tower and there was the Air Force tower. So I tell I drive over to the Navy side and I said, hey, you need to go up there and you need to go ask these guys what the hell is going on because, this is our base,
Right.
And this is a big deal. So anyhow, he's up there for like 3 seconds and he's back down. He's like, oh, they told me to, this, he goes, oh, this captain told me that I didn't have to, I could just mind my own business and I didn't have to worry about it. I said, Captain? I was like, oh, fuck no. I said, that's a goddamn ensign. I was like, I'll be damned if a fucking butter bar tells us what to do on our post. So I go up there and chew him a new asshole, right? Because I was like uber enlisted back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't care if I got in trouble.
Yeah. I remember an Army guy was cross-training with us and I introduced him to I said, let me introduce you to Captain Wilson. He's a good guy. You'll like him. And he's like, all right. So we go around the corner and he was expecting an 03. And a captain in the Navy is the same thing as a full bird colonel. So he walked in the captain's office. He was like, well, shit. Ensigns. Let me tell you a little story here. Okay. The two sayings you never want to hear in the military, in the Navy, is an ensign saying, based on my extensive experience,
right?
Ignore everything that's about to come out of his mouth. The other thing you don't ever want to hear is a chief petty officer walking up to you saying, hey, I got an idea. Ooh. If you hear that, run.
Nothing good is about ready.
Nothing good is about to come out of his mouth. I wonder how long it would take you to paint my office for me.
Oh, shit, fuck, the idea fairy is hit.
My buddy worked in the one I was telling you that was stationed on the frigate. He worked in a classified compartment. He was the guy that could monitor radar sets and identify what was emitting them. And they could track them. So that was his job. And it was a CRTT or some shit, some long ass rating name. Usually ratings in the Navy are 2 letters. Like I was an HM, hospital corpsman, machinist mate, MM, bosun's mate, CCRT or some shit, like what the hell is that? So he told me, and the compartment he worked in had a very super encrypted lock on it. Only authorized personnel could get in there. He got in trouble with a chief, and he ran into his compartment and he locked the door. Chief couldn't come in after him. So he got that thing where his division officer comes up to him, just like Tanner said a moment ago, said, "Hey, so I got a phone call." Anytime your superior comes to you and says, "Hey, I got a phone call," I mean, you're in trouble. You've done something.
Oh man, we used to have motor pool guard, and so it's just like a little phone booth, with a table and one seat in there, and there's a phone, and then your operating little binder with your operating instructions, and you just brief people as they come in and out of the motor pool.
Right.
And everything. Well, anyhow, I was walking by, we were fixing our tanks and everything, and my buddy was on motor pool guard, and he's like, "Hey man, I really got to use the bathroom, and just grab a drink, from the vending machine." He's like, can you watch the gate for me? I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Well, lo and behold, he had pissed off somebody, and so there's a phone call, and so I answer it. And I'm like, yeah, this is, Specialist Hurley, blah, 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 whatever our briefing was, 118 motor pool, how can I help you, sir or ma'am?
Yeah, you little asshole, you blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
Yeah, he's getting chewed out. This guy's yelling. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, "Do you know who this is?" And he goes, "What the hell?" He's like, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "No." I was like, "So do you know who this is?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Good." And I hung up the phone.
Exactly.
So my buddy
your buddy
comes back.
Up the bus. I'm not going down for you.
My buddy comes back. And he's like, "Anything happened?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, and I leave. Well, lo and behold, this officer that he had somehow pissed off, I don't remember. I don't remember at all. But he's like, "Thanks a lot, man." He's like, I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, I didn't even know who that was. He's like, "Oh, it was some colonel." Some colonel had asked him a question, didn't like what he had told him and whatnot, and then he hung up the phone and whatnot, went about his duty. But anyhow, and then he left, not thinking anything of it. He really did have to go to the bathroom and everything. He wasn't trying to throw me under the bus. Didn't think the guy was going to call back. He called back, all pissed as heck. I took that ass chewing for him, but I was like, "Do you know who this is?" "No." "What?" Good. And hung that phone up.
Click.
Welcome back, Michael. I got to tell you this one. It's almost the same damn thing. I think everybody runs into this shit. I was at 1st Battalion with a corpsman, and we could pass for twins. All right. We looked the same. His first name was my first name. He was Buckner. I'm Blaylock. So even our call signs like Echo 4, Bravo Charlie, are exactly the same. So, and our offices were right next to each other. Your office is your exam room where you treat your patients. We're doing sick call one morning. We get a new battalion commander for 1st Battalion. And he's touring around, and he goes into my office, and I'm, "Good morning, sir," blah, blah, blah. He goes next door, and Buckner has the American flag and the Georgia flag. Back then, the Georgia flag still had the stars and bars on it. This colonel is black. He said, "I don't want that racist ass flag in here." And Buckner said, "Beg pardon, sir, but I'm authorized to have my state flag in my office." And I heard that. And I went, "Ooh, probably a good idea to piss off the new colonel,
Oh,
but
man.
it blew over, right? Well, the next day, I had every day it rotates, a different corpsman opens up the battalion aid station, because you'll be there at 4:30 in the morning to get it opened up, get the coffee going, make sure supplies are out. You know how it is. So I show up early, but I'm in my civvies. I'm in my PT gear because my uniform's upstairs. I'm going to go get dressed, when I get there. I just got done PTing. And the wife was dropping me off. Well, she lets me off and she leaves. And I see a figure in the pitch black. It's 4:30 in the morning, standing under one of those incandescent lights, this all of like 40 watts, and this is the swamps of Paris Island. So there's mist and fog, and he goes, "What? I don't rate a good morning, sir." I'm like, "Beg pardon, sir. Couldn't make you out in the dark." He thought he thought I was being racist about dark and him being black. And he goes, I'm gonna see you in just about an hour. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck that's about?" So I go upstairs and I get dressed. The rest of the corpsmen come in, and we're doing sick call. And if you don't know sick call, there's 100 people out there. There's 4 guys to see them, and you've got 2 hours to get them all treated and treated. So we're busting. And here he comes. And he walks past my office and gives me the stink eye and goes in the chief's office. And he goes, "I want that racist corpsman, blah, 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 blah." And he comes back down the hall, and his spatial awareness is not there because he turns into Buckner's office. And he goes, "This effer right here, blah, 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 blah. He called me darky." And Buckner's going, "What?" And I walked in, and I stood next to Buckner. And again, we could pass for twins. And the colonel goes, I said, "I think you got the two of us mixed up, sir, and you got some mixed messages." And he went, "Carry on." And he leaves. And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." This was about to be bad for both of us for no fucking reason at all.
Now, we had a guy in our unit, and I mean, dude, Sergeant Great, and a good friend of mine, like, love him to death. We still talk to each other. He's still in. Anyhow, Sergeant Great is like darker. One sec.
All right. Deal with your business. Yeah. So the good thing about having an identical twin who has almost the same last name, the same call sign, same build, same uniform, blah, 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 same rank, was we could stand inspection for each other. So like there's going to be we call it a muster. The muster inspection is they just come by and make sure you're wearing the right uniform. They give you the orders of the day and they send you on your way. Well, I didn't want to do muster this particular morning because I wanted to slide off to the golf course. So I was, "Buckner, will you stand my inspection?" "Yes." And I would return the favor. I would do it for him. Our chief was well aware that we did this shit. But there was a real inspection one morning, not just a muster. This was a real one. There's going to be a flag officer interview. That's like an admiral and or a general for the Marine Corps. And Buckner could not find his dress blue uniform anywhere. Would I please stand for him? And you don't even wear a name tag with your dress blue uniform. That makes it even easier. So I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." I put it on and everything went without a hitch. But when the admiral came by, he turns and he shakes your hand. "Good morning, sailor." "Good morning, sir." And he goes on. But he's not the only one. Right behind him is his adjutant. And then behind him is the commanding officer of that particular unit. And then behind there was my chief. My chief gets to me as the guy goes 4 people down. And he looks at me and he's trying not to laugh because he knows I'm not Buckner. So the inspection's over and he comes up to me and he goes, "Don't pull that shit again. Are you crazy? What if he'd asked for your ID?" Like, well, just doing a buddy a favor.
Did he ever find his dress blues?
Yep.
Okay.
I had an honor guard detail one morning for a funeral, be a pallbearer's honor guard. And it was military funeral, so I had to be in dress blues. And I kept my dress blues in my locker at work. So I go and I get my dress blues and I pull my chloroforms out and I try to put them on. I wear a size 12. These were size 10. I couldn't get my feet in there. And I realized what had happened was that we shared a locker with another guy that worked in the same space, and he had grabbed my shoes with his uniform. So he's out there with clown shoes walking around, and I am just, I have to be there. There's no such thing as no, So I make my feet fit in these size 10, and I lace them up, and I am in agony. But I go through the funeral. I do the thing. We do it all. And when it's done, man, I am sitting in my car. I pull those shoes off, and my toes are just throbbing. And two of my buddies knew what was going on, and they told my OIC, which was Commander Barrett, the one of my oldest sons later. He came over and he said, "You ought to get a medal for that shit. That is above and beyond the call." It's like, it was painful as hell.
You're like, can you give me a foot massage now?
Bring back my shoes. I found the other guys like, yeah, how them shoes work out for you? And they go, oh man.
You fell on my face a couple times.
Had a hard time keeping those on. Yeah, well, I had a hard time getting my size 12 dogs in your size 10 shoe. That shit didn't work. Oh my God. So yeah, there's that. I did have a lot of fun in my Navy days. I wouldn't trade them for anything. Had some bad times, but you know, you forget the bad stuff. I had a master sergeant that had it in for me. His name was Top Ditchkoff. Master sergeant we call Top. Master Sergeant Ditchkoff was a dickhead. And he came in one day as we are securing sick call. That means we're done. We're locking up. We're deploying to the field. If we don't deploy to the field, the Marines can't train or do their whatever without us. The standard operating procedure is if someone comes in for sick call after it's closed, you do a quick triage. If they're not dying, you put them on light duty automatically and tell them to come find you in the field and you'll take care of them. I did that. I forgot something, so I went back to the battalion aid station, grabbed whatever it was, I forget now, came back out, locked the door, and they're still sitting there on my little bench in the waiting area. I'm like, didn't I tell you two to find me out in the field? Yes, sir, but the drone instructor told us to sit right here. I'm like, what? What drone instructor? And it was Top. Top wears the campaign cover. So I went in and see Top and said, hey, Top, those guys got here late. They've already been triaged. I'm going to see them in the field. And he goes, no, what you're going to do is open that sick call up and see those patients or see those two recruits. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I said, I have got 278 recruits waiting to throw grenades. That takes all day. That's sunrise to sunset. I've got to be there. And he said, are you telling me no? And I said, I'm telling you the standard operating procedure is this is what I have to do. And he was like, oh, I hope you got your ducks in a row, boy. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, you know, under my breath. I went and got my ambulance. I drove out to the grenade range and I got to thinking, oh, fuck, he's going to make problems. And he did. So Tanner said he'll see you soon. He's got some family stuff to take care of.
See Tanner.
Bye, Tanner.
So I was like, I need to deal with this. This is going to be unpleasant. That guy hates me. And the reason he hates me, by the way, is I stopped him from doing a Mach 4 march. That's the chemical protective gear. You're not supposed to do anything in those when the temperature is above 100 degrees. It was 110 degrees, and he's marching people through the jungle wearing this shit. I stopped him. You can't do that. Anyway, I'm out of the grenade range, so when we get to a break, I use the phone and I call my division chief, and I tell him, he goes, oh, it's too late. He's already been here. You got to go see the old man. You're in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Failure to obey a lawful order. Son of a bitch. So this is a big, painful ass process. First, you got to go to the executive officer, and he determines whether or not it goes to the commanding officer. Our XO was an idiot. He didn't listen to anything I said. He referred it to the old man. So that's one more day. So I go to the old man the next day. I'm in my dress uniform, and he presents his side. I issued a clear order. He refused to obey it. Blah, 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 blah. Is this true? I said, yes, sir. And so then I started my defense. I grabbed the standard operating procedure and I took it over to the guy who wrote it, who was my division chief. And I said, would you please, I'll never forget this. Would you read paragraph 8 on page 88? Yes. What does it say? No Marine directly involved in recruit training shall in any way interfere with the operation of medical personnel. Period. That's pretty cut and dry, don't you think, Chief? Yes, it is. I said, would you say his order violated that policy? Yes, I would. I took it over to the commanding officer. I turned to the back and I said, sir, could you please tell me whose signature this is in the back of this standard operating procedure? Well, that's my signature. So yes, sir, I was following your orders. Jason says, dude was out for my ass, though, y'all. I'm just telling you. You should write a book. I have written books. I have one called Pariah Blood and Mud.
Boom.
For which I'm going to play a commercial while I refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
All right.
Revenge, the sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell. I don't like that Anthony made the golem jump up and down like that.
I always remember you saying that when I watched that trailer.
I'm like, dude,
it's supposed to be funny, damn it.
Yeah, there's nothing funny about the golem. Well, I think it's cool. So we're working on a new trailer, and I told him there will be no dancing golems in that trailer. It's not gonna happen. I gotta switch to the headphones so I can turn my air on. It's getting hot in here. We lost people just from me playing my trailer. God.
Wow. It's an awesome trailer.
You can't see me, but I'm flipping them off for you.
All right. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me see. Let's switch over here to this. There we go. And turn the air on because God, it got sticky hot in here fast. And I don't know about you guys, but I love the sound of a window unit running.
I just love a window being open. I love fresh air.
Yeah. You can only do that like 2 days out of the year here.
Well, I could do it today, but the neighbors next door are cutting a tree down, so that's not helping.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Did Tanner say when he was coming back? No, he didn't. Oh, just issues. Just issues.
So I went to brew a new cup of coffee. So I went to get coffee, and I'm like, oh, I have to grab my Kindle. Went out, brewed the coffee, came back in my room, and set the coffee down, and went, I forgot the Kindle. Apparently, I had my priorities right. I needed the coffee.
Coffee is far more important than the Kindle.
Right.
You know, I forgot everything but the coffee. It's all right. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Got the coffee.
No soy, no Bud Light. We have coffee. Extra caffeine. Extra.
I admit it. It's got creamer in it. I prefer creamer, but I will drink it black if need be.
You're forgiven. Oman Pani Mani Moo. You get a special dispensation. Fanta, you said were you on with Rex yesterday?
I was.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
Okay. Did he end quicker than normal?
No.
Well, I was just wondering. He sent me a link, but when I hit it, it was over. But I don't know if I was late or if he logged out early.
Well, you tried to come in?
Yeah. It was over.
Well, we stayed backstage talking for a long time. It was like 7 o'clock my time, I think, when we ended, something like that. Do you think you clicked the morning one?
I may have clicked the wrong one.
Yeah, I've done that and showed up and been there by myself, and I'm like, well, this is over.
And sometimes I'll get invited on a show and I have no idea where I'm going. There's a link. I click it and I'm like, where am I? I don't know whose show I'm on.
Surprise.
Welcome back. So here's a question for you two and for the chat, anyone listening. When Pariah is finished, there are 3 different projects that I would like to do. And obviously I can't do all 3 of them at the same time. So let's say one of them is a spinoff of one of the characters from Pariah,
Mm-hmm.
who you haven't met yet and you won't meet until book 2. Another one is the Heap. The Heap is a public domain character. He was the first swamp monster in comic books, and he's available. And I would
Ooh.
love to do that. Okay. And then the third choice is a plain old Superman-ish type superhero who's just a good guy. He doesn't have any hang-ups. He has no political agenda. He just goes out there and fights bad guys. And he's good. He's a good person. He's not stupid. You know, he's not any of those tropes they try to do these days, because I feel like we need real heroes. Which one should I do?
That is hard
Well,
for us to say because right now you're not motivated to this morning. So once you're done, you have to kind of go with, well, where is my heart at? Which way am I going?
Well, the one thing I picked up on was when he mentioned the second one, he said, I would love to do something with that. He didn't say that about the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
But we do need a real hero. And his name is Mr. Marvelous. I'll show you a picture of him. Hold on a second here. Oh, get rid of that long-haired poodle guy.
I like poodles.
All right. And then we come over here and we share the screen. So this is the superhero. Mr. Marvelous.
So that's number 3, right?
That's the
Whoa.
superhero. And he's just a big old nice guy who does the right things for the right reasons. No hang-ups, no character defects. You know, he's not an alcoholic. He's not a womanizer or any of this. He's just a good guy. The problem is he's superpowered, right? And he's fighting a guy that was non-superpowered, and he punched him, and the guy lived, and he became Jackjaw Jimmy because his jaw's on sideways from where he got punched. Jimmy Jackjaw. You know, I thought about Kevin Crookedhead because his head's on sideways. I thought that would be funny, but I like the Jackjaw better.
Yeah.
He's meant to be a rip on Shazam, Superman, you know, all the big cape wearing good guys. Now the spinoff from Pariah is Jack Crawford, who is a supernatural detective in the lines of Sam Spade, you know, from the Maltese Falcon. It's a very noir book. So he wears the trench coat and the fedora, and you know it'll be you know, it was dark as hell in the night, and I knew she was trouble the moment I laid eyes on her. Blah blah blah, blah. That kind of stuff, which I love.
Yeah.
So
I do too.
Yeah, all of these are projects I'm keen to do, and I just can't make up my mind which one to do. The one that's hardest to write is the superhero one, because you got to make a compelling villain to fight somebody that's a Superman level character.
Mm-hmm.
The story's got to be really good because there's no real threat to him.
He has no weakness?
Well, that's what I got to decide. Hey, I got a guest in the back.
I heard we were looking for a superhero.
Anthony. Put on your cape, brother. What's up?
What are you kidding? I don't even have clothes on right now.
Oh my. The
Option.
doctor is in.
I got nothing.
Snap goes
I
my
got-
glove.
Cough. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
All right, it's like 90 degrees in Jersey. What the fuck is going on? I'm sweating my
What?
balls off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 80 yesterday, and today it's like pushing 90. And then tomorrow it's going to be like 62.
Okay.
Have you got your window units back in yet?
No, I'm trying to stick it out because the next like 2 weeks is going to be like 60s and 70s, so I won't need them. So I'm like,
Right.
why put them in the window when I'm just going to, because I love opening the windows. So why am I going to put them in the window when I'm just going to pull them out anyway? I might put one in later when I go to work for the dogs. You know what I mean? Because I won't be able to keep all the doors and windows open while I'm at work, you know?
Yeah.
So, but,
Hey, you guys, Anthony literally has camera monitoring and surveillance throughout his house for the dogs so he can see them misbehaving. I love that.
I'm looking I'm looking right now. I got the new monitor up, and I got the security camera because like I kept walking out there and like they chewed a frame. Like I've never seen. Hey Mike, how you doing, man? Usually they chew mail, right? So I'm always catching them like chew the mail, or if I leave like something like paper like laying around. And then like the other day they chewed a picture frame. I was like, same picture frame that's been sitting on the end table for like 8 years, never touched it. All of a sudden, just chewed up a picture frame. I was like, all right, well, I gotta keep an eye on them because God forbid they had broken the glass and started eating the glass.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
thankfully, they didn't. You know, but
Yeah. Yeah. So the other person that was going to possibly send me their old digital drawing platform, that's a no. So I want yours.
All right.
And I found my old tower. I pulled it out. It's right there.
Oh,
and it's got 12 gig of RAM in it. So I'm going to take my unit and see if he can put that RAM into this unit, and then I'll have plenty of horsepower to run it. So I'll be able to do digital work, and Control Z will be a thing.
Computer terms sound so dirty sometimes.
Like RAM.
Yeah. We're going to shove that RAM in there. We're going to ram the shove in there. My hard drive.
It's like, what's your RAM? 12.
It's a gig, baby. It's a gig. And my hard drive is very powerful.
I'm gonna pull those towers out of my car finally and check them out and see what.
They're still in your car. Come on, man.
Dude, that's just a small house, man. I got so much shit all over the place.
I was going to say that's some shit I do. I'll bring stuff home, but I don't even bring it in the house. It just stays in the truck. You know?
My mother bought herself a new TV for her bedroom because like the I guess there was like a black spot forming on the one, which basically just means the LEDs were probably going out in it. So she goes, because being that I taught myself how to fix a TV, she was like, here, if you want to doodle with this. And she gave me her old 32-inch TV, which is fairly new. That was like months ago. That shit has been sitting in my car for months. I'm like, where am I going to put a 32-inch TV until I'm ready to start like dicking around with it, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Everyone's like, someone's going to steal that. I'm like, it's so obviously, because you put it in the new TV's box, which was a 40-inch TV, right? So I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. If someone steals it, they're going to think they're getting a 40-inch TV, and they're going to get home with a 32-inch TV with a black spot in the middle of the screen. You know, it's like, fuck them.
Hey, let me tell you, the wife went into what is, in fact, the guest bedroom, but it used to be my stepdaughter's bedroom. And she made it her project while she was on a spring break. She's going to totally remodel that room, which meant get rid of all the stepdaughter stuff that she hasn't gotten after all these years of having been moved out. I did not know what I was in for. All right. So I come home and the carport is overflowing with shit. And I'm like, what in the hell is all this? There's a 50-something inch TV out there. And I'm like, what is it? It's broken. Okay. There's a bed. There's this, there's that. There's furniture. There's clothes. There's trash out the ass. That room was nasty. I didn't know. I never go in there. So I went in there, while it was clean and remodeled, like, oh, it's a lovely room now. Well, I didn't think that one all the way through, you guys, because obviously I got to take that shit to the dump, right?
Oh, yeah.
But somebody saved me a little bit of it, because this guy comes up and he goes, hey, man, what you going to do with that TV? I said, we're just getting rid of it. He goes, can I have it? I said, yes, you can. I didn't bother saying the shit don't work. You didn't ask. You just wanted to have it. I let him have it. There's one less thing for me to load on the truck.
That's it.
Works.
And you know what? If they want it that bad, they'll figure out how to make it work. I did. The only problem was I got so excited with my 50-inch TV that I fixed that when I figured out how to fix it, that when I realized I forgot to put like one screw in that I probably could have left out, but I was like, I might as well just reopen the TV and put the screw in. I cracked the screen.
Oh no!
I was so pissed. And they don't even sell screens that big.
Right.
You might as well just buy a new TV at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now we still have in the bedroom a plasma TV, which those things weigh as much as a car, but it is huge. I think it's a 68-inch, big old thing. It's like watching a widescreen movie. Has the best picture I've ever seen. Tacey went and got some expensive ass Bose speakers and put a surround sound, and it's hooked up to everything. So in the bedroom, it's a multimedia spectacle, But here's what I get a kick out of. I found that TV at a thrift store and I paid the guy $80 for it 10 years ago. It's still rocking. He said it could burn out tomorrow. It's plasma. The thing is still like brand new and has the best picture of anything I've ever seen. Meanwhile, my TV, where I get to watch what I want to watch, is this little bitty thing that's all the way across the room. You can't even see what you're shopping for, so you have to get up and go stand in front. It's like, nope, I want a widescreen. Yep, makes more sense to buy a new one than fix the old one. Unless you're good at fixing stuff, which I'm not. Michael, I'm like you. I'm tech illiterate.
We had lightning hit the cable outside a couple of years ago, and it knocked everything out that was connected to the internet and/or cable.
Ooh.
Yeah, but at the time we had a first generation smart TV, so we're like, oh well, here's a way to upgrade it.
Right. You got to look for that silver lining. You got to look for that silver lining.
The next TV I buy is going to be my monitor when I get a laptop, because I can't see, so I'm gonna have like a 50 or 65-inch.
Hell yeah!
There's my monitor.
Now, Fanta, would you mind my asking? Because you said something about this was before my accident. What happened to your vision? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. I didn't have an accident though.
Oh,
it just happened.
Oh, well, what happened?
My retina specialist says there's 3 ways you can get it. The uveitis, the eye disease I have. He said it's arthritis, a really bad fall, or you just get it and you just got it. And I said, can I give it back? He said no.
Is it a detached retina?
No, it's my immune system attacks my eyes as if they don't belong to me.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's
so
awful.
I get shots in them and do eye drops and all that. I do Humira injections.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do those. I got those.
Yeah, it's supposed to suppress my immune system.
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Right on. Okay.
And
Well, you know what?
yeah, what?
No, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it flares up. Like
Mhm.
you know how arthritis will flare up and you'll swell up and
Yep.
you know, stuff like that. Well, when it flares up in mine, it goes really blurry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And that's why I have all
but
those typos and I apologize for them.
oh hell no! Don't even worry about that. I am fluent in typo, by the way. I speak it and I understand it because I make typos. I can type fast as shit. I had to learn how when I was in college because you had to write so many papers, right? But um, yeah, that doesn't include the every other word has a typo in it thing. So when it's not flaring up, how is your vision?
Right now it's not really good. It's like permanently flared up kind of right now.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
yeah, when I go from my room to the kitchen, you know, I'm real slow and I find the wall and make sure I don't run into anything. I still do, but you know,
Well,
whatever.
look, I can see and I run into walls. Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't even have your excuse.
I
I
mean,
know that I know that without my glasses, I'm almost legally blind.
yeah.
So I don't even play around with it. I don't know if you remember, Fanta, a little while back. I actually did a fundraiser to get some new glasses because
Yes.
my old ones were 10 years out of date. So I only got 2 new pair. This is one of them. The other
Yeah.
ones looked just like my old ones, the black horn rimmed. My
Mhm.
dog ate them the day after I got them.
Oh no.
Ate them. Ate no saving them.
Yeah.
That dog gets
I
away with
had
things from being cute.
They all do.
If it had been a Chihuahua, I'd have killed it.
Aw. I had a Chihuahua named Frankie Fernando.
I have a Chihuahua right now named Tater Tot.
Tater Tot. Aw.
Her name is actually Tater the Tot. Tater the Tot.
Is she
But I
really
just call her,
tiny?
oh man, she's itty bitty. She's been on camera with me a bunch.
Oh.
She's not a miniature or a toy, but she's still small.
Mm.
And she has a skin issue. Like there's not a flea on her anywhere. No fleas. But she never stops scratching and gnawing. And,
Yeah.
sometimes she'll go half bald from gnawing her own skin, And the vet thinks it's a neurosis. But she's so small, you can't give her anything like a benzodiazepam or whatever. Just knock her out. So I'll just hold her and I'll pet her for hours until she falls asleep because I don't want her to gnaw herself to death. And I give her
Yeah.
regular soothing baths with oatmeal and whatever, and it seems to help her. But it does get
Aw.
annoying. You can only hear for so long
Yeah.
before, would you please
Some
stop?
in some of my videos, you'll hear Poot scratching because it
Yeah.
jingles her little tags, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry for the background noise. That's just my dog.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And what's funny is we've got this great big puppy, the one that ate my glasses. She's a lab. And by the way, labs have prehensile fingers. So when they claw at you, it's not this. They go, and it hurts.
Mhm.
But she gets so first confused by the Chihuahua's incessant scratching. She'll sit and stare at her and go, tilting the head,
What are you
But then
doing?
but then it aggravates her, and she'll go, "Buh, buh, buh, buh," like, would you please stop? And I'm scared that big old dog's just going to go gulp and swallow the Chihuahua. So I feel like I always have to be on guard for that, because she's a
Yeah.
puppy. She doesn't know any better. She doesn't know
Yeah.
she's big, goofy, and strong. Excuse me.
What you doing, Anthony?
Sorry, I was just checking something on Twitter. I was typing, and then I realized I was probably typing into the microphone, so I just muted.
Oh.
Yeah,
There's a lot of insanity going on right now, apparently. that I
Oh
ju-
no.
just found out about last night, but we won't talk about that here.
Okay.
See,
I mean,
Doc,
they-
I told you earlier, the world is going crazy. It really is. I think there's something going on.
Is there anywhere we can go to avoid it?
Yes, there is.
If Elon gets his, gear together, we can go to Mars.
I
Oh.
was just gonna say, my luck, I would get on there with a soy boy, and there's no
yeah.
coming back. It's like
Two
it's
men go to Mars, one man leaves.
gonna be a shame to bury your ass on Mars, buddy, but that's what's happening as soon as we land. Sorry. Stop. Stop. You're so toxic. Oh, you're so getting buried on Mars.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, that's right. Oh my gosh.
I told them on Rex's, I said they were talking about that stuff, and I was in the chat, and I said, I'm going to get a shirt, and on the front it's going to say, I want to throat punch you, and on the back it'll say, in Minecraft.
So we've been going for 2.5 hours. I'm going to wrap this one up. You guys have succeeded in getting my day going. I appreciate it. My next stop is going to be to take these computers down to the shop and see if I can get this RAM installed in this one. And Anthony's going to send me his old digital drawing pad so I can make digital comics.
Uh-oh.
Because what finally made up my mind, Anthony, doing a panel right back here, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a downward angle shot of 4 people standing in the office. And, that's a hard shot. And I worked my ass off on it. And then I fucked up one of the figures. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I got to draw this whole thing over again.
That's when before you do that, you try to take a separate piece of paper and draw the one figure just perfectly.
Yeah, I will try that.
And then tape it in
Tape
there.
it on. I will try that. But that's one of those things that just screams for Control Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Delete, draw it again. That's the advantage. That's the advantage. So on that note, we're going to wrap this one up. I want to thank everybody for coming to hang out. Tanner's not here anymore. Apex was here earlier. Michael, Billy, PayPal was here. Sketch was here. Carrie was here. Tree Goblin was here. Kate was here. God bless you all. Thanks for hanging out and helping me get my day motivated. I've had some laughs. I'm in a great mood now. So Fanta, Dawn, thank you guys.
Yeah.
And, let's wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up.